Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Tom and Nina here for our latest edition of Wealth Creating Wednesdays. We're opening the rooms up early just to get everyone engaged and give them a chance to come join us. Nina, how are you? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Wealth Creating Wednesday. I had to think what day it is.
Is it Wednesday? Yeah, happy Wednesday to you too. Nice to see you.
We're coming from West Coast and East Coast here, from Vancouver to Boston.
Just for
You
another
can
couple
tell
more
by
days.
Nina's
That's
heavy Boston accent that she's a native Bostonian.
it. Chicago, and actually, I'm from Chicago. My husband's from
Yeah,
Boston, so
which
yeah,
is really a neutral accent, right? It's very neutral. It's tough to pick
yeah.
out Chicago.
I got a little slang, little
Yeah,
Chicago slang,
little South Side Nat stuff.
South Side slang. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Obama doing his shovel ceremony for his new presidential library slash center slash mega project yesterday in the South Side of Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It's like 235 feet high, the building, 23
Wow.
stories.
Wow.
It's like an entire university. I'm like, well, if you got unlimited money and unlimited capital, you can do whatever you want, right?
Apparently.
You can do whatever you want. Hey, welcome everyone. We're going to be talking today about how to package your authority and wisdom and knowledge to build a $250,000 business, a minimum around that authority. Before we get started on the content in the next few minutes, Nina, why don't you've been involved in packaging people's intellectual property and wisdom, doing it with your own, with other people for years. Why don't you just talk a little bit about why you love this part of the world of monetizing your wisdom this way?
So yeah, I am kind of a geek when it comes to IP. When you have your own intellectual property and your own proprietary process, it really does put you ahead of the competition, or eliminates competition in a lot of ways as well, because it becomes your own blue ocean. You've heard of that strategy, obviously, many people, but there is something to that. So when you have something that's uniquely yours, that when people need to know about it or need to learn about it, they have to come to you. There's something about that not only does it get rid of imposter syndrome completely, because now you're the expert, you're the founder of it. I believe everybody should be a founder of their own proprietary process, and that we should all have that edge to be that thought leader that we're called to be, and really make the difference and the impact in the different industries that we're called to step into. So that's one of the reasons why I do it. I love IP. I'm a geek. Like I said, I'm a total geek about IP. Everyone should have something in their asset should be their own intellectual property. So that's my thought.
Yeah, and it's also you. I mean, you said it very quickly, the blue ocean strategy, but I want to just speak to that a little bit, because it's a powerful concept. We're going to talk about this today on the content, as you know, Nina. We're going to talk about strategy of preeminence, which my old mentor Jay Abraham talks about all the time, and that's where you come up with a strategy where you're not the best option among your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only option.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only option, and that is a strategy decision, right? And if you can capture your wisdom and knowledge and package it up so that people look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's the only one. I was recording Mike Griffiths' masterclass, Mike.
Yeah.
And on the weekend we did it, and it was absolutely epic. For those that are in the consulting space, you're going to want to check it out for sure. Part of his content was how to create an epiphany. And I thought of you because he was actually teaching in 7 steps. Here's how you create an epiphany, where you're describing your IP in such a way that people go, holy cow.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like you're shattering myths and you're establishing your strategy of preeminence all at once. And I think that's something that we can all benefit from. So whether you're here live in our StreamYard room, our LinkedIn live room, our YouTube live for the first time, shout out to YouTube folks, or our Facebook live groups, or you're watching a replay, which is where most of you are going to watch it. Based on our traffic numbers, there will be hundreds and hundreds of you watching this as a replay. Thanks for making some time to work on your business. Once again, my name is Tom Matson. This is Nina Venturella, and we are on Wealth Creating Wednesdays, where we bring you a series of topics on how to increase your wealth as an entrepreneur. In particular, if you're a speaker, author, influencer, business coach, or consultant, you're going to adore this. If you want to be one of those 5 things, you're going to adore this. And frankly, even if you have a bricks and mortar or service-based business and you're looking for ways to package that wisdom and knowledge and become a speaker, author, influencer, business coach, or consultant, you're going to love this too. We are super excited, and it is top of the hour. So shall we jump right in?
Let's do it.
All right. I am got these multiple screens going here so we can track what's going on in each of them at the same time. And let's jump right into this. Welcome to How to Earn $250,000 a year as an authority in your field, even if you can't market your way out of a wet paper bag. Speakers, authors, influencers, business coaches, and consultants, let us show you how to permanently eliminate inconsistent cash flow in the next half an hour. My name is Tom Matson, joined by Nina Venturella. We're so excited that you're here. Glad you could take some time to do that. We always start with a quote. I'm going to hide this little sharing thing down below. From my old mentor, Jay Abraham, the multi-billion-dollar marketing consultant. Our favorite quote, right, Nina? If you have a product that delivers value, you have a moral obligation to reach as many people as you can. You want to speak to this, Nina? Because I know this is something you're really passionate about.
Yeah. So I was one of those people who had a process that nobody else had, and there were so many times where I wanted to quit. And my process was a lymphatic technique, and it really did change people's lives in so many ways, especially in the health and wellness way. And there were so many times that I wanted to quit because things were hard or they weren't going the way I wanted them to go. And I just kept thinking, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, other people can't get the healing that they need, or they can't get the results that they're looking for. And that I had a moral responsibility to get that process out there to the masses. And it wasn't an easy process. There's a lot of up and down, a lot of challenges, but knowing that I had that responsibility and I was given this gift, it was my destiny at that particular point in time, my assignment to get that out there so that people can get what they needed. In that aspect, it was the healing in the lymphatic system. And it really did change lives, and it continues to do so. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's, if you notice when Nina was talking about that, she wasn't talking about how much money she made off of sharing that story, but in a Western world, that's a product of bringing impact, right? That's a product of bringing impact. So we're going to talk about that today from both directions. How do you bring the impact, and how do you get monetized? How do you do that? So it's not a hobby. It's not a little side gig or a side hustle. It becomes your primary income stream along the way. But let's start with some bad news first. Most entrepreneurs fail. The U.S. Small Business Administration tracks this data. Their data is 62.8% of businesses fail in the first 6 years. That's pretty brutal, right? If you think about that, that's 2 out of 3. So if you're going to survive, the entrepreneur on either side of you are not going to survive. That's what that means. That's what that means. It's a pretty brutal stat. And here's the crazy part. That hasn't changed over the last 20 years.
It probably got worse, huh?
Well, with COVID, it's probably gotten way worse, right? But in terms of the last 20 years before COVID, it never changed. 2 out of 3 small businesses failed. We want to turn that around. Part of the reason is we're wearing too many hats. As a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, we're trying to be our HR manager, strategist, CFO, marketing brand champion. I see people designing their own websites all the time. They have no experience in it, but quote unquote, we can't afford to hire anyone. So instead, they hire yourself, right? You hire yourself to do it, and you got no training or experience, and you struggle through and you go through that process. We see that with people that self-publish books that have got no training in that field, and they do a terrible job at marketing their book because they're spending all their time putting the book together.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the first challenge. So we have a simple thought. Just because you can't hire someone today doesn't mean you should be the one doing it.
That's true. Right.
You want to be aware of that. You want to be thinking about that. The next thing is, this lovely addiction we have, just one more course and I'm there. We call this the entrepreneur education cabal, right? The people that just want to sell you stuff. And I'm using the clean term because we're broadcasting across the universe right now, but they just want to sell you stuff. They couldn't care less whether you use it or not. And behind the scenes, they're very, very open. They know most people are not buying courses and are going to use them. The vast majority of people that buy courses don't use them. And so we want to break that habit for you. We want to take you to a different way. Who are we? If you've never met us before, let me introduce my partner on today's Wealth Creating Wednesday. It is Nina Venturella. She is our Chief Creative Strategist. She lives as an entrepreneur, spent 26 of those years in the weight loss and wellness industry, helping people lose weight, achieve health and wellness through her company, Majestic Wellness Academy. She has an extensive background in franchising, coaching, and writing, has been known to take people from what she calls zero to hero with their authority for books and intellectual property. She's innovated and created many proprietary processes that have gone global and become household names. Been featured in some of the most prominent magazines, including America's Best Coaches, Yahoo Finance, Entrepreneur.com, and many others. Welcome, Nina.
Thanks so much, Tom. Glad to be here.
Super excited to have you.
Okay, it's my turn. Let me introduce you to the late.
Wait a second.
To the great Tom Matson, Chief Movement Maker. Tom has started some 89 businesses of his own, 8 to 7 figures and beyond. Tom's made and lost millions several times over. He's a 2 times international bestseller with some 172,000 copies of his book sold. More importantly, his personal coaching clients have generated more than $100 million in sales in dozens of industries. Tom is our Chief Movement Maker of Entrepreneur Empowerment Institute and Embark $1 Million Authority Partnership. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. The late, great Tom is here. The late, great Tom is here. You can call me anything, but don't call me late for dinner. Super excited. Made and lost millions along the way. Some of the keys to what we're going to share today for sure. Yeah. Glad that you're here. Our agenda really simple. We're going to talk about how to monetize your tribe, how to turn your tribe into cash. You see, if you don't monetize your calling, you can't create a movement. And if you don't create a movement, you're not going to have anywhere near the impact, the influence, or the income that you deserve to do. So we're going to talk about 3 different things today. Your strategy of preeminence, getting clear on your ideal target market, and then how to create a high ticket, high margin, and most importantly, high impact program, what we call a game changer program. That's our agenda. Lots to cover. At the end of today, we'll stick around for questions. If you have any questions, take good notes, and we'll happily get into that. We will invite you to join us, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Nina has a very special gift that she wants to offer each and every one of you that want to develop your authority in this area. And if you do stick around to the end, we'll show you how to get a copy of all the notes from today, the entire presentation slides. That way you don't have to worry about capturing screenshots all along the way. We'll make it nice and easy for you to do that. All we ask in return is that you share a review on this presentation for others to join us. So let's jump right in. How to monetize your tribe. What we're talking about, strategy of preeminence, your ideal target market, and high impact programs, starts with this philosophy that you often want to think of your business as literally planting seeds. Some bamboo, like you see in the screen, you can plant and nothing comes out of the ground for 5 years. Nothing. You got to water it, and you got to take care of it and nurture it, and nothing. And then when it finally starts coming out of the ground, it grows a foot a month. It grows this much a month. You can basically watch it grow. You can't stop it from growing at that point. The strategy we're sharing today is like that. It takes a while to set up properly, but done right, once it comes out, it'll continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And that's our hope for you. Starts first with the strategy of preeminence. That's my old mentor, Jay Abraham, in the background there, the $21 billion marketing man. Here's the thing. You want to create a unique value proposition or a unique selling proposition that is so powerful, there's no direct competition. Not that you're better than the rest, that you're the only choice. And it starts by focusing on compelling outcomes, pains, and problems you solve, of course. There's a link here to a video that digs deeper on this with Jay's approach. In fact, one of our team just shared, she was watching the video and was just blown away by how much detail in this topic. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it today, but you want to think about it from a number of directions, and you really want to figure out what's it going to take for you to be different and unique in the marketplace. And Nina, you have lots of people you work with in this area. Maybe you can share a couple of examples of strategy of preeminence, and I'll do the same.
Well, I'll just talk about mine first because mine was obviously that. So in 2006, I discovered I had a healing modality, a healing gift I didn't even know I had for the lymphatic system. And we called it Extract, which was an acronym. And it truly went household, but because people got results the very first time. And so the amazing thing about this process is I wasn't trying to make this a proprietary process. It literally caught me off guard, and it started getting such great results that I started teaching this around the nation. And if people wanted to learn this process, now there's other lymphatic techniques out there, but mine was very outside the box and very original. It did a lot of the opposite of the way you're supposed to move the lymphatic system. And so because mine got such great results so quickly, and we were doing so many things outside the box, I became a brand in myself, and people were seeking me out. To this day, people still seek me out. And this has been the last 14 years. And so what I basically did is said, listen, if you want to get to that place where if they wanted to learn my technique, they had to come to me or one of my 90 instructors that I have around the nation to learn this technique. And so there's never going to be any competition because it's my own process. It literally was birthed in me as the founder. And so what I do is I help people find their genius, help them pull out their gold, which is uniquely theirs. And you'd be amazed how much gold is in you, but sometimes you just need somebody to help pull that out. And so we have so many people right now that have like great leadership qualities, and then but they've been doing like, black belt. So now they have this black belt like leadership program that's unique to them because they're a black belt. Not a lot of people are, and they have this background with leadership. So we tied those things together, and now they're like have their own little preeminence of strategy right here that no one else has. And if they want to learn that strategy, they had to come to him. So that's just one example or two examples of what that looks like specifically.
Yeah, and in high ticket program world, there are several things that we're going to talk about in the next 20, 30 minutes that will give you examples on how to create your own offer in such a way that you have a program that is totally unique. One of them we talk about is guaranteeing results. We'll dig into that a lot. The Cabal, as I mentioned earlier, they don't want you to guarantee results because they don't guarantee results.
Right.
And by the way, behind the scenes, I know many of the heavy hitters in our space, and I've shared the stage with them. Behind the scenes, they're very aware of this. They know they could be guaranteeing results.
They're not doing it.
But they're not doing it. They're like, no, Tom, that's too much work. Why would I do that? Well, one of the ways to stick out in the marketplace, especially if you're a new authority, is to be able to say, I'm so confident that 75% of my fee is linked to results.
Yeah.
Right? Extra for experts. You do want your prospects and new clients to put some money up front, to have some skin in the game, because they'll be more committed. They'll listen better. They'll follow through better. But if you're able to link 50 or 75% of your payment to results, many things happen, including really distinguishing yourself in your marketplace. So that's a big part of what we're going to talk about today as well. And let's continue on here. I'm going to move this over here. Next up, your ideal target market. And I'm actually posting comments as people are throwing them in here. Keep it coming, guys. Keep the comments coming on the thing. I see Mary Sloan. Welcome, Mary. Good to see you here from Vancouver. We got Joe Sweeney. Tell us where you're from, Joe, in here. We got Rahan Sharif. Let us know where you're from. Katrina Kirkland Heatley. Now there's a jersey. Katrina Kirkland Heatley. That's a big football jersey. I like that. Lots and lots of letters. You're keeping the jersey company people in the good cash flow. Hey, Bill, good to see you here. Bill S. A whole bunch of people. Look at this. And then LinkedIn user. Oh, yeah. So if your profile set that you don't share your name publicly, you come up as LinkedIn user in our system. I like that. LinkedIn user says, placing and guaranteeing your product and service is awesome. There's Joe from Manhattan, Kansas. Welcome. Katrina, let us know where you're from as well. All right, let's jump along here. I'm going to do this part here, show that one, jump it around. All right, let's go to ideal target market. Here's something to think about. One client paying you $10,000 is more profitable than 100 paying you $100. Both are $10,000. But I think most of us intuitively realize that if we've got 100 clients paying $100, it's going to be more work than one paying $10,000. In addition, frankly, life is too short to hang with people that drive you crazy. Yeah. So you want to think about who can you help the most? If you've got existing clients you've been working with for several years, this is pretty easy, right? So if you have a track record, think about which target market is the most fun, you can help the most, and strategically makes the most sense. So if you were listening at the very beginning, we talked about our top 5 audiences. And I know that breaks the rule about niching down really tightly, but we've got a big business, and you'll see there's some overlap with these 5 audiences in terms of how people identify themselves. But our 5 audiences are speakers, authors, influencers, business coaches, and consultants. That's our ideal target market. Can we serve people that aren't, say, a business coach, but they're a life coach? Sure, we do all the time. But we can help business coaches better, faster, quicker than life coaches. So that's one of the ways we distinguish our ideal target market. So you want to think about who's the most fun to work with, who can you help the most, and strategically what makes the most sense. Those 5 strategically often support each other and joint venture and promote with each other, which is how that 5 grew to 5, frankly, because every 3 times a year now, we run a big deal making event called Strategic Alliance Live. And for that event, those are our 5 audiences. We get them all in the same room and they share leads back and forth and promote each other. You want to do the same thing. You want to get crystal clear on who that audience is. Once you're clear, then you run your filter of demographics, psychographics, and association affinity, the normal ways you apply this. Demographics, male, female, what age, psychographics, what drives them, what motivates them. Are they a free enterprise or libertarian, or are they a socially responsible entrepreneur? Both are awesome groups. Both respond very differently to different types of marketing messages. We find in high ticket world, for example, men want, generally speaking, more sales, more profit. Women, generally speaking, want more impact and more clients. So because we're driven by impact, most of our messaging is around that. But what was today's Wealth Creating Wednesday title? What did we talk about, Nina, on the title today?
Sales.
Yeah, we talked about sales, $250,000 income, figuring out your income, where you're doing, what's involved, each of those elements, right? And so why is that if we're focusing on impact? Because our experience is the people that want to make impact in the world are hung up on how to make money around their impact. They're not hung up on their impact. They're really clear they want to make impact. They don't always know how to, or how to package it, or how to structure it, but they are clear they want to make a lot of impact. And so we want to help each and every one of you, whether you're here live, and we see people from Zimbabwe, which is awesome, and South Carolina, and Cultus Lake, BC, Manhattan, Kansas, right? All over the planet, people are watching this live, but they're also going to watch it as a replay. You want to get really clear on who you want to play with. I want to talk about the last one there for a little bit too, association affinity. For years, as a small business coach, this was my secret weapon, right? The simple way to think about this is, where does your ideal audience hang out in bunches like grapes, right? Where do they hang out in bunches like grapes? Often they're in an association, or they're in a LinkedIn group, or they're in a Facebook group, or they're in a trade association, right? Back in the day when we used to meet live for conferences, right? It's starting to come back, but it's not back fully yet. But now it's all virtual conferences, virtual trade shows, right? What are the associations and affinity? The other way to think about that are trade magazines. There are a bunch, as in hundreds and hundreds of specialty magazines that are doing very well because they're very clear in their audience. And if that's your audience, it can be a perfect way to reach a lot of people, whether you're advertising in those publications or putting articles in those publications, or frankly, cross-promoting with the organizers of the magazines to offer your masterclass or your training to their subscribers. You can do that. And then what you want to do is put it all together in a 1-sentence description of your ideal target market and explore this from 2 perspectives, right? For those of you that are very clear in your audience, do it from your experience. Who's been the most lucrative? Who's the most strategic? Who's the most fun? But also there's another audience, because we often take people that are really good at doing this, and now they want to teach people how to do it. And their audience shifts, right? If you're really good at cutting hair and now you want to teach people how to run hair salons like you've been doing, that's a different audience. Now you're talking to hair salon people or prospective hair salon people. Right. So that's about desires. That's about desires. Nina, you want to jump in on some of this?
So one of the things that I do too, so I get a lot of people say, well, I'm not sure I serve everybody, men, women, everybody. I'm like, okay, well, we got to kind of narrow it down a little bit. So I give them an exercise. I tell them to close their eyes and picture the person that they want in that audience. I'm like, where are you speaking? Like, what is your dream stage? And then when you open your eyes, who are you speaking to? Is it male? Is it female? What's their age? What do they look like? Are they professional? Are they blue collar, white collar? Like, and really get an idea what that looks like, is usually that'll tell you where you want to go. That'll zero in on who that person is for you. And then you just go from there. And the other thing I'll tell you too is when we're talking about teaching the teacher, so to speak, that's what I did. And then I licensed it. Thinking it from that perspective as well. So let's say you've got a really tight program, you're an authority in that space, you want to scale it more, you want to be a little bit more hands off. Well, then you might want to think about doing the teacher program, where now you're going to the end users of who you can teach, so that they can actually start to roll it down to whoever that is. And then they can resell it, or there's different ways to do this. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. It's not just, your
we're not advocating skinning cats, just for the record. We're not advocating skinning cats. Don't send us any tweets. That's not
no, we're not going to really skin a cat, right? But
if we're going to do that, we're going to barbecue them because it's far tastier. But let's not go there.
But no, there's so many different ways to really pull this together. And so just be open, especially if you are looking at really pulling this together, just be open and different opportunities on how you do that.
Love it. So now let's jump into, you've got your strategy of preeminence, or you've started thinking about it. You got clear on your ideal target audience. Now we're going to advocate and attempt to persuade you on creating a high ticket program that guarantees results. There are 3 reasons you want to have a high ticket program: ascension model versus descension model, guaranteeing results, and high ticket program structure itself. So let's break each of these down. This is what most of our industry teaches, right? You start with a low price or free item, a tripwire, they often call it. And then, maybe it's $7 to $97. So let's say you get 100 people in, right? Then you do courses, $97, $297, $397, $1997. Then you get into a coaching program, maybe $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000. And then if you're lucky, you get into your either high-end one-on-one coaching or a done-for-you service or a mastermind, 10, 100,000 and up, frankly, and up. But the challenge is, if you start with 100 people at the bottom level and then work your way to 10, then work your way maybe 2 in the coaching program, you're lucky to have 1 or 2 at the other level. And while our industry teaches this to people, the vast majority of authorities teach this model, it's not what they do. It's not what they do. And so one of the secrets to success I learned a long time ago is watch what people do. Watch what people do. What are they actually doing to get success in their marketplace? Let me give you an example of a startup from a little while back called Tesla. Many of you have heard of Tesla. In fact, there's probably not very many humans in the developed world that haven't heard of Tesla. It started with a very expensive Roadster. This Roadster only fit 2 people. There was no back seat. There was no storage area. There was barely a frunk, which is the front trunk area they are now so famous for. They barely had any of that. In fact, I know a friend of mine could barely fit his golf clubs in. He had to put the roof off and put it in the passenger seat to put his golf clubs in, his first Roadster. And yet they sold enough of those to create enough buzz to launch their entire business. And then they did the Model S and X, still very expensive, not for everyone. And it was only recently, very recently by Tesla's scale, that they went into the Model 3, the affordable car. And it's not super affordable, but it's affordable enough. If you are committed to owning a new car, you can get in the Model 3. And that was a complete game changer in the marketplace. So they started high, worked their way low. So how did that work for them? Well, in July 2020, they passed Toyota to become the largest automaker by market cap in the whole world. They didn't even sell 1/100th as many cars as Toyota at that time. Well, not even 1/100th, but their market cap was higher than Toyota. But it didn't stop there. In December of last year, Tesla's market cap topped the 9 largest automakers combined. And the experts still kept talking about how it's never going to stick around. It's not going to happen, right? It's going to keep on changing. They're going to crash. In January, they became the 5th most valuable company in America, passing Facebook. and it continues to grow. The latest one screenshot I grabbed was this one. And now they're saying Apple, Tesla, trigger Wall Street dreams of a $3 trillion valuation. And they're predicting that by 2030, they'll be worth $3 trillion. The descension model is where the money is. The descension model is where the money is. Nina, anything you want to add to that before we jump into the next piece?
This just hit me. We're looking at those dates. That was in the middle of COVID. That was right around Christmas time of COVID. And right after Christmas time, when everybody's supposed to be broke. But yet they blew away all those records. So when you have the right strategy, it doesn't matter what's going on around us or the dates or anything like that. When you have the right strategy, people will come to you and they will buy what you have. It just hit me.
Yeah,
right
well, look at the growth of our business, right? The first year of COVID, we tripled, and this year we've tripled over top of the triple, right?
Yeah, so it's just amazing when you have the right strategy.
You can absolutely do that. Okay, so next question. Oops, I just lost all my screens. I shrunk them down too fast. Hang on a sec. Yeah, now I gotta pull them back up because I'm managing all these comments and all these screens. Here we go. Next one is a real simple question. I'm gonna go here. Which would you rather pay for? Which would you personally? The people that are here live, let's hear from you. Which would you rather pay for, knowledge or results? Put them in the chat box. Would you rather pay for knowledge or results? We want to see. Throw them in the comment stream down below. It takes a little while for it to show up because there's a 10-second stream delay on the marketplace there. Oops, if I pull that over, that's going to drive people crazy because I'm pulling it on the screen and blocking my own view, and it's showing up as a never-ending mirror. So let's see, people tuning in out there in LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live land. Which would you rather pay for, knowledge or results? Here we go. We're starting to come in. We got Annette saying results. We got Katrina with knowledge. We got LinkedIn user with results. All right, here they go. Keep it coming. Knowledge or results? Let's hear from you guys. Knowledge or results? We got Joe from results. We got Rod from knowledge. So we got a couple of knowledge people here, and then we got results. There's another results. Here's the thing. When you think about it yourself, if you're paying for results, you're always getting a return on investment. If you're paying for knowledge, sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't, right? We've all bought stuff that we're like, yeah, that really wasn't very good for us, right? But if we're paying for results, we can always get a return. And so here's the question. Why do we ask our clients to do anything else? Why do we ask our clients to do anything else? We know if you link your payments to results, your clients are happier. Yeah. There's some big advantages. You shift the risk from your prospect shoulders to your shoulders. My mentor, Jay Abraham, called it risk reversal. He called good guarantees risk reversal for that very reason. You're shifting the risk across. In addition, check this out. 9 times as many people will raise their hand to learn more about your offer when you have a strong guarantee. 9 times. Now, you're not going to do 9 times the sales because guess what? If you're linking payments to results, you're not going to sell everyone on purpose. You're not going to take everyone's money because you're like, I'm not sure I can help this person. Yeah. So what you will find out is that you will screen better and you'll end up with 3 times as many sales on average, just by making this one change. This was the data from Jay's work, Jay Abraham's work in hundreds of industries and thousands of business. I can tell you, I've been using risk reversal since I was 23 years old in hundreds of industries and thousands, now tens of thousands of businesses. Every single time we split tested it, it was the same. Minimum 9 times as many inquiries, 3 times as many sales. And it's so much easier. And Nina, why don't you speak to this part? Because this is the part that I think surprises people, just how much easier it is to sell when you have a great guarantee.
Well, it's basically a no-brainer. So I'm just going to give you an example. So I had franchises and they would have to buy in at $75,000 was the lowest, but I couldn't give them a guarantee because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I don't know too many places where they can actually give you a guarantee in a certain amount of time with a certain outcome. I don't know any businesses that do that. I've never seen anything like that. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm like, I'm going to say, if you give me this, I will guarantee you this. It doesn't happen in the real world we live in today. So I don't know any business where we do that. So when I explain this to people, we do a major screening qualifying. And I mean, I really do that. If you don't qualify, I will tell you in the most nicest way, and we'll set you up with another direction or a path. There's so many other ways we can help you, but we're looking for people who we believe we can monetize, because here's the deal. We're only getting a portion, and then the rest is all based on performance and results. So if we can't get you those results, no one's going to win. And we believe in a win-win-win situation here. So we're all about helping you get where you want to go. And at the same time, it helps us, grow and do what we need to do as well, so we can continue to help more people.
Best part is, if you test this on your own, you don't have to work with us to figure this out. You just test it on your own. Try it on some prospects. Try it on some people you've lost sales with that you think should have absolutely come on board, and see what they think. And you'll become a convert right away.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's amazing.
The ideal solution is to put all this together in what we call a high ticket, high margin program that guarantees results for your clients. So we're going to talk about that for a few minutes, and then we'll open up for questions. Why a high ticket program? Well, the high ticket program done right is the combination of solving a 6-figure problem, minimum, 6 or 7-figure problem, having a proprietary process like Nina talked about earlier, and a scalable solution. All 3 of those are essential. If you only have 2 of the 3, you have a problem. So for example, if you've solved a 6-figure problem and are scalable, but it's not proprietary, well, then you're just like everybody else, right? On the other hand, if you solve a 6-figure problem and it's proprietary, but it's not scalable for you, then you're working for every single dollar. We see this with consultants and done-for-you agencies all the time. They're working so hard to make $250,000 in sales because they're having to do everything themselves. And if you don't solve a 6 or 7-figure problem, but it's scalable and proprietary, there's no value. Your clients are not going to pay you real money for that. So you want that perfect combination in the middle of each of those 3 things. How do we do that? Well, first, it starts with solving big problems. There's 5 reasons people buy: make money, save money, stay out of jail or compliance in a B2B world, have a better life, or have better relationships. Those are the big 5 reasons people buy. And so you need to position your offer. Some of you, I noticed, said, I sell a service which requires, this was Katrina, I sell a service which requires knowledge of all facets to become successful, right? Well, that's great. But then what does that lead to? With that knowledge, what does it lead to? What sort of outcomes do they get? It should be one of these 5. It should be one of these 5. And the better you tie it in, the easier it'll be to have a high ticket program. It's not just about charging more. I see that in our industry all the time. Oh, just charge more for what you're doing. No, if you're not providing value, charging more is a guaranteed ticket to bankruptcy, because no one's going to buy it. And the only ones that are going to buy it are fools. And trust me, if the only people that are your clients are fools, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Second, your job is to bring order from chaos, right? You want to confirm your audience will pay $10,000 or more to solve this problem. And so if not, here's some things you might want to do. Extend and complete. Example, I develop websites. Well, nobody wants a website, right? What do they want? They want more leads. They want more clients, right? So if you can extend and complete the offer where I build websites that turn into clients, or I build websites that turn into prospects or lead generation machines, as we call it, then all of a sudden now you got something super powerful. Sometimes you have to do more. Sometimes what you're doing, you need to add some other things in. And this doesn't have to be you. Think of it as you're the orchestra leader. You don't have to play every instrument in the orchestra to make this work, right? You don't have to do each and every single piece of this. You can work on bits and pieces along the way and add it in, and you can bring other people in. You can license it. Nina was talking about this earlier about licensing and train the trainer models. And the easy one, if it's about more life or better relationships, link it to entrepreneurs. Yeah. Link it to entrepreneurs. A good example there is, a divorce coach can help become a divorce coach for entrepreneurs. Help them prevent the chaos that happens with that, which, by the way, after 3.5 years of being separated, today I became divorced, Nina.
Oh, you did? Do I congratulate you?
Official. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, congratulations.
We're friends. We moved on. We got a son that we share together. So, for me, it was 30 seconds hard work. For her, it was 9 months of hard work. You know how that works. But linking it to entrepreneurs, right? When I was first getting separated, it caused massive chaos for me, and I had no clue. It was 5.5 months in a fog. And the only reason I know is because when the fog finally started to lift, I looked back and I went, holy cow, what happened to my business during this time? I had lost all this productivity and all this revenue and all this impact, and I had no idea. If some sort of divorce coach had come along and went, hello, wakey, Tom, it would have been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, separate from the settlement. I'm talking about lost revenue opportunity. Hundreds of thousands, certainly single or second millions in that fog period, right? So if you can help people, you have an obligation to link those things in. This is an example of one of our programs. When you get the slides, if you stick around to the end, we'll show you that later. I'm just looking at the clock. I want to make sure I cover this and get to your questions. Next key, we believe, is doing good and making money at the same time. Love this quote from Katie Sharfin from Austin, Texas. Anyone thinks that money can't buy happiness hasn't given enough away. Right? Hasn't given enough away. One of the funnest things that I've been able to do the last couple of years during COVID is we've got our main causes we contribute to, like Nina does and I do. And my son and I invest a lot of our do good money into Kiva, microloans with Kiva. But I'm also in a position where when friends tag me in Facebook and they're doing a fundraiser for their birthday, I can donate $15, $20, $50 to basically every single friend that's actually a friend. What a radical idea, right? That's actually a friend. But I tag it so it's not public. So only they know. Because for me, it's not about the public contribution. It's about supporting them on their thing that they're doing. It gives me more joy to be able to send someone $20 hidden in that. I mean, just yesterday, a good friend posted he's launching his new book. He's looking for some capital to raise to put together this book. He doesn't even know we're in the book launch business, Nina, at all. He's just putting his list out. And I sent him a donation and he freaked out. I'm like, well, at least I could do. I believe in you and I believe in what you're doing.
Sure.
Right. So that's part of our philosophy. To do that in your business, you want to create a transformational contribution program. Good examples are Tom Shoes, 4Ocean, bracelets, and Pella Case. Pella Case are these phone case people that make biodegradable phone cases. This is a Pella Case one, by the way. Let me just go to the main screen so you guys can see this. This is you see this one here with my little Hanu
it's
turtle.
Cool looking, yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Made from flaxseed.
Wow.
So when I'm done with it, I compost it. I put it
Or
with
you
my
can grind
food
it up and
waste.
put it in a smoothie.
I could put it in the smoothie if I wanted to. I'm pretty sure there's some colored dye with that as well, though. So I'm not sure I would want that. If I put enough kale in, it won't matter, though, because it'll overcome
blend.
Right? So you need to do the same thing. You need to build it in your business so that your clients become raving fans of the work that you do.
Yeah.
And number 4, guarantee results. We talked about this already, but it's worth repeating because if you can link your payments to results, it becomes so much more lucrative for you. It's become so much more profitable for you if you can do that. There's a comment there on the screen from LinkedIn user. Guarantees can close most any objection. It is so true. When you're able to say, I'm so confident that, boom, 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 boom. And by the way, I'm not saying money back guarantee. Most of the time, if you test it, that's one of the weakest guarantees you can do. If you test this, you'll find it's one of the weakest guarantees you can do. Why is that? Because we don't want our money back. We want the result we came to you for, right? We built these indoor golf training centers. We were able to guarantee a 25% reduction in handicap, which is like 3 to 5 years training for most golfers in 3 months. And when we tested it, we had money back guarantee. And they said to us, no. We don't want our money back. We want the result. We want the 25% reduction in handicap.
Right.
And so we changed it to one of the lamest guarantees you can give, or we'll work with you for free until you get there. And when I say lame, that is lame, because if you're not happy with someone, working with them for 6 more months doesn't make you any more happy.
Exactly.
Right? It's not always a good strategy to do, but it worked like crazy in that business. And then finally, you got to make it scalable. This is so important. We have an entire masterclass dedicated to this. reach out to us if you don't have our contact information, and we'll show you that masterclass if you want to dive deep on this. I'm going to do it really quickly. To make a scalable program, you should only have 5 elements, one of these 5 elements, and most will have the first 3. Some will have the next 2, but not all of them. First one is virtual training, right? There's people from all over the world watching this live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We're so glad that you're here. Thanks for working on your business. But the vast majority of people that will watch this will watch it on a replay, because each of those platforms will have it as a replay when we're done. And based on our last Wealth Creating Wednesday, we had 8 times as many people watch the replay in the first 7 hours as watched it live, right? So virtual training is a great way to go. Next is group coaching, not one-on-one coaching, but group coaching. Because if you do group coaching right, it's way better than one-on-one. It's better for you. It's a better use of your time. It's better for them because they get feedback from everyone in the group, not just from you. And if you think about this, and if you're still skeptical, no, one-on-one's the best, that's what they want from me. No, that's what you believe they want from you. What they want is the best results they can get. There's a reason why public companies, their board of directors can't be one person. Right? Have you ever heard of that? A board of directors of one? It's actually illegal.
Yeah.
Why is it illegal? Because multiple points of view is better for the shareholders.
Yeah.
Well, in the most profitable, biggest companies in the world, if multiple points of view are better, surely multiple points of view are better in a startup. If you're coaching someone brand new, you will find that. If you're not used to doing group coaching, you will absolutely love this. You'll get much better results much faster. And then masterminds. Done right, I believe masterminds are the greatest force for good in business.
Yeah.
Most people don't do masterminds right. That's a problem. There's a lot of people that sell masterminds, and they're really just a 3-hour workshop, or they're a guru mastermind. Come in, kiss my ring, tell me how great I am. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Napoleon Hill style masterminds. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, talks about the collective wisdom of the people there. Those are the masterminds that will radically transform your business, your life, and the impact you make in it. So your program should have all 3 of those for sure. Then some will have these other 2, some won't. Scalable, done for you services. Nina, do you want to give an example of scalable services and non-scalable for people tuning in?
Well, I always say scalable is where your more hands off than hands on. So you have maybe a little more fulfillment within your deliverables. Maybe you're taking some of your expertise and you're now packaging that up as a done for you service. Again, and you just kind of support it with group coaching or something like that. So it's more hands off than hands on.
Yeah, and unscalable is when you're doing that hands-on in such a way that there's no possible way to leverage that in a big format, right? So let's use that website example, right? If you're taking a template and you're copying the template and adapting it, scalable. If you're creating a brand new website every single time, unscalable.
Exactly.
So for you agency types that are out there, this is going to be a hot button for you because you're probably making 80% of your money right now in an unscalable done for you service.
Yeah.
No wonder you're pulling your hair out. No wonder you have no quality of life, right? Focus on scalable and outsource the unscalable. You don't want to be doing that. And then live events and workshops. We're broadcasting this live on LinkedIn Live for Wealth Creating Wednesdays. We're linked to our YouTube channel live for the first time. Shout out to anyone on YouTube who's found us, and Facebook Live. But as I said earlier, the vast majority of people that watch this are going to be watching a replay, right? But we like the live because we get some interaction. We get people putting comments in all over the place here. Like Mary, she's been commenting away. She's a comment machine. Way to go, Mary. We appreciate that. She prefers group coaching. There she is right there. So those are the 5 elements of a scalable program. So we're going to open it up for questions now. For those of you that are here in the room live that are streaming away, throwing your comments if you have any questions on any of this stuff. Also, Nina, you got some questions from people when we talk about this stuff all the time. Why don't you talk about some of the most frequently asked questions you get around creating a high-ticket program that guarantees results?
Okay, let me give you an example. So here's a couple happens a lot. A lot of people come in and they have an amazing authority in an industry, like a real estate or something like that. But then they have this heart's desire to teach health and wellness. So then they want to pivot to the health and wellness. But I'm like, Okay, you have a passion for health and wellness, but you have an authority in real estate. So what I tell them is, what we do is, why don't we go ahead and stay focused on your authority, where you are known, you have a tribe of people that know what you do and who you are, and they like what you're doing, and you're confident in that area. And then we'll take the other part of you, like the health and wellness, and we'll create like a nonprofit with that. This way you're satisfying that need to give back, in the health and wellness industry, but you're staying in the lane where you're the authority. And that's really important. So most people that come to us, because they're like, oh, I have this passion to do this. But I'm like, yes, but you haven't been doing it for years. No one knows you in that space. So let's stay in that space and then pull you into what you really, where you want to give back into that other piece. So I would say stay where you're really known and your authority, because that's where you have the most leverage. And that's what people need. They need to know what you've done to get to that place of authority. And then you could take all your wanting to give back and give it back into some kind of a nonprofit. So
I love
that's what I
that.
would say.
I love that. And Nina knows we recommend that you set up a nonprofit to run in parallel with your for-profit for lots of business reasons and personal contribution legacy reasons. So definitely you want to think about that. Pretty powerful. If you do have questions for those, even though there's a time lag here, I see it's about 30 seconds now off of LinkedIn Live. If you have questions, throw them in the chat box. We're going to jump ahead here because Nina's got a great big gift. And I want to make sure that we get time to go to that. Whoa, let's get this out of the way. Nina, what's the gift you'd like them to take you up on if they're so interested?
So if anybody wants to just explore, if you have the opportunity to be scalable, solve a 6-figure problem, and have your own blue ocean proprietary process, if you want to just explore different opportunities, different ideas, different strategies, I am inviting you to come in and we will actually help you create that high ticket program from scratch. I'll help you with your IP. I'll help you build it out, make sure you have a right fit audience that aligns with what you have, that they can afford it. And we'll kind of pull this all together. We'll do a whole roadmap for you and you'll be good to go on your own. Or if you want us to help you, we can do that as well. But that is a $2,000 program that we offer, and we're doing it for free.
Yeah, so this is something that we literally set up for Wealth Creating Wednesdays.
Yeah.
This is something that Nina normally sells, or it's part of one of our programs in terms of rolling out existing high ticket clients. What we realized is one of the best ways we can serve you is by serving you first. It's like, I know that's a radical idea, but one of the best ways we can show you how we can help you is by helping you.
Yeah.
So if you've got wisdom, knowledge, experience, and you've thought, gosh, I'd love to package that up, and the idea of a high ticket program that guarantees results is like, oh, that'd be even better. Take Nina up on her offer. You'll see the link down below. It's bit.ly/embark-roadmap. For those that are listening to the audio, bit.ly/embark, EMBARK, and then a hyphen or dash roadmap, embark-roadmap. And that'll redirect you to her Calendly page, and you book a time in for a 45-minute call. And Nina will invest her massive wisdom on this topic to help you figure out if there is a high ticket program inside your brain. She's really, really good at this. What percentage of people are you not able? No, let's flip it around. What percentage of people are you able to come up with on a call like this, Nina? Some sort of plan for them?
Actually, I come up with a plan for every single person. Whether it's a fit for us to go forward or not is a little different story. But honestly, if you're going to meet with me, you're going to get value, because my goal is every single person I talk to, I'm going to give you an aha moment. And I have done it. You can ask anybody I've worked with. I give, whether they move on or not, you'll get a nugget. I promise you that. It'll be worth your 45 minutes.
And remember, we talked earlier about when you guarantee results, you screen and qualify. I'm sure some of you, the cynics in the audience, are thinking, oh, yeah, she's just going to be pitching me a program.
Oh,
no, the way this works for us, it's maybe different for you and your system. But for us, we're going to focus entirely on giving you value, coming up with a high ticket program. And then if it's something we can actually help you with, if you want our help in getting it done, then Nina will set up a separate call for a conversation around that. Probably send you to one of our master classes to watch it first, so you can see the entire training on that. This is genuinely about how do we help serve you. And if you're not taking this approach already in your business, if all of your strategy sessions are just disguised sales conversations, if you're selling low ticket, that's fine. That can work very well, actually. But if you're selling high ticket, it actually is counterproductive. It's counterproductive. It's like if the guy said, "Hey, John, you want to start Tuesday morning or Wednesday afternoon on your high ticket program?" Right? Like, what are you talking about? These are major decisions. These are major decisions. You want to make sure there's a really good fit and figure out how it works in that scenario. So, for those of you that are interested in building a 6 or even a 7-figure business around your authority, take Nina up on her offer. There's the link on the screen as well for those that are tuning in. And we've got people. This is pretty cool. I don't have YouTube Live up on my screen, but I got Facebook Live. I got LinkedIn Live. There's different delays too. I've noticed. Like we're on Facebook Live. We're just doing ideal target market right now.
Oh, wow.
That's like serious delay. That's like a half-hour delay. So hello, Facebook Live people. I don't know what's going on there, but that's like serious delay. LinkedIn people are much sharper. Sorry, LinkedIn Live is much shorter delay. They're not sharper people. Everyone can be sharp, right? All right, so let's wrap this up. Nina, any final thoughts before I share our last couple of slides for people? For anyone wanting to build a 6 or even a 7-figure business around their authority and wisdom.
I'm going to go back into what I referenced. I'm going to actually say 2 things. One is direction, not intention, determines your destination. And if you have an intent to do something, until you actually put direction to it, to the destination, you're never going to get anywhere in life. It's just not going to happen. You can have the intent all you want, but until you put action, it's not going to happen. So we are asking you, if you really have a desire to have more impact, more income, and you like what you're hearing, set up a call. Seriously, it's just a friendly conversation with me, and I will find gold in you, and I will help you pull it out, and I will help you put together a high ticket program. And if you want to end it there, that's great. If you want to continue our relationship, that's fine as well. It's truly 45 minutes of your time. That's it. And then the other thing I'll say is, going back to baseball, if you don't, you're never going to get a home run unless you actually go up to the plate and swing a bat. You might get a strike, you might get a ball, but you might get that home run, but you're never going to know unless you take the bat and swing. So I'm going to say, take a bat, swing, go for it.
Look at that. She's been in Boston 3 months and she's doing Red Sox metaphors, people. How good is that? The locals would be very proud of you.
They probably would.
Thanks, Nina. Here's your challenge, everybody, to wrap up. Lead by example. Become a business worth modeling. Build your 7-figure authority enterprise. And as promised, if you want a copy of the entire presentation deck that we just went through, go to LinkedIn, connect with me, ask for a recommendation, and post a recommendation on this Wealth Creating Wednesday presentation, and I'll send you an entire copy of the slides right away. And of course, if you want the high ticket program roadmap call from Nina, go to embark-roadmap on the bit.ly link and book a time for Talk with Nina. Finally, we just want to thank you for investing your most precious commodity, your time. On behalf of Nina's family and mine and ourselves, we're so excited that you spent 53 minutes working on your business. It's the way to really make a big difference in the world. And thank you for doing so. And we'll see you at the next Wealth Creating Wednesday, 1 week from now. 1 week from now. Say goodbye. Let's wrap it up, Nina.
Bye, guys. Have a great one. Have a great weekend.
See y'all. Bye-bye.